Conversate for a few.
Welcome to another episode of Conversate for a Few. I'm Jonna.
I'm Alan. This is not a podcast about classical music.
Absolutely is not. This is a podcast about hip hop. Hey, yo, did you get the links I sent you, bro?
Yeah, man. I read them. A lot of
them?
thoughts on them. Yeah.
Okay.
And Go ahead because it's a lot. It's a lot to discuss. But I will say this: we definitely is a gray area, very gray area right now on what can be used, what can't be used, and like kind of how the whole AI is going to play into, so creative
Yeah.
space.
Yeah. So for the audience, I sent Alan some links, and they'll be in the description. One was like Vice, and the other one I can't even remember what the site was, but they were talking about. Matter of fact, both of them may have been Vice. They were talking about both of them Vice. Okay, they were talking about, of course, artificial intelligence and music. And one article was about the Eminem cat. I had never heard it, right?
Yeah.
But there was a guy that produced the AI song. It was a cat that sounded like Eminem, that was vocally sound like Eminem and lyrically sound like Eminem, but he was rapping about cats. He put it out. Universal Music Group has now had it completely taken down for copyright infringement.
Yeah.
Right. So it copyright infringement. First of all, they didn't use any Eminem actual lyrics. They didn't use any actual Eminem song. They didn't use his actual voice.
Right.
But they were still able to say, take that down. They're infringing on our copyrights. I don't understand. How you feel about that, bro?
So if we go technically by the law, no, I don't think it was copyright infringement at all, because what they did wasn't copyrighted. It wasn't like he used some of songs that Eminem have written or produced that are out. This was totally, made up. The only thing was it was his cadence of flow and the voice. That's all. But that's a different argument. That's dealing with, voice likeness or something like that, similarity. Or, what I mean? That's not copyright infringement according to the law that's on the books. And not only did they have them take it down, they also had him get a strike, which means you can only get so many before your channel get removed. So they got him a strike against
You can only
him.
get 3.
You can only get 3.
Get 3 strikes, and then he already got the one. And so if you get 3 strikes on YouTube, your channel is permanently banned.
Right.
And you have to start over, right? So he's gotten one off of this.
Right. And I agree with him. He said he felt like that was over the top and extreme.
Yeah, because what they normally do is if you're infringing on their copyright, they mark it, but they don't give you a strike. And what they allow the actual owner of the copyright to do is transfer all the money that you were going to make to their coffers. You know what I mean? So you stop receiving monetary gain from it, and it goes directly to the copyright owner. But they leave your video playing. In this case, Universal Music Publishing Group is really who did it. Universal Music Publishing Group, they asked that it be completely taken down. And I think that is a testament to it being AI.
Right. But I also think the reason why they took such an extreme, strong stance is because they know it's coming. And they're trying to
That's my point.
And they're trying to get, and it's funny to say this, they're trying to get ahead of the curve, but they can't because it's already happening. But they're trying to
already happening.
Strong stance against it, but really mainly because they can see where if they don't, they will be getting robbed like they've been robbing people for years.
Yeah, if not worse. I think, like you're right, I think they're trying to set a precedent, right?
For sure.
1, they're trying to set a precedent, and 2, I think they're trying to scare everybody else that may be thinking about doing this.
That's it right there. Yeah, that's it right there. They're trying to instill the fear factor. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they, they're trying to instill the fear factor. That's all it is, instill the fear factor, and it's gonna work on a lot of people. It's gonna work on a lot of people because you don't want to go through the trouble of creating something or are you really creating something? Having the AI create something, and then you go online thinking it's gonna get monetized, and it's just snatched. And now you got another strike against what could be likely your livelihood on your YouTube channel. You know, so yeah, I think that is gonna scare a lot of people. Now, when you spoke to the copyright infringement part of it, right? And you said you agree with old boy in the article saying like they shouldn't. And we're talking about the guy that actually they interviewed the guy in the article whose content was actually taken down. So we're talking about his opinion on what was done to him, right? I thought about it from a slightly different angle, right? And I guess I'm getting the language from amateur sports nowadays. And they can make money off their name, image, and likeness.
Right.
You know what I mean? Eminem's voice is part of his likeness, no?
Yeah, is as far as likeness. Yes.
So you can't just go use my, even though you're not technically using my real voice, you're emulating my voice. And the only reason this voice is viable in the marketplace is because it's mine.
Right. So I got two things. I'm so glad you said that. There's a guy there's a rapper that you and I know from Brooklyn that sounds just like Jay-Z, and not purposely. That's just his voice. But when you hear the songs, it's like, damn, it's Jay-Z. Now, so then where does someone like that fall? That's hell, that may be closer than an AI simulation of Jay voice. You get what I'm saying? And so the only reason I was saying I agree with them, I'm against AI recreation of having this new singer that sounds just like Beyonce and making songs that, you know what I mean? I don't agree with it. The reason why I agree with that particular thing, the guy saying is not copyright infringement, is because I'm saying specifically none of his musical works as of now that is copywritten, it wasn't taken from that. That's all I mean. So I'm trying to be like technical. I guess I'm splitting hairs saying being technical. They need a new law to deal specifically with this AI simulation of people voices. They need a new law on the books. Yeah.
And they're working on it. Yeah, because that's part of the other article that I sent. We'll talk about that in a second. But part of me agrees, right, with what you're saying, and with the whole sentiment that the copyright statute is trying to enforce. But however, this is kind of similar to, no pun intended. Well, actually, full pun intended. This is similar to the blurred line situation with Pharrell and Robin Thicke and Marvin Gaye. This is very similar to that situation because they did not use anything from they didn't use any sound recording that came from Marvin Gaye. But what they did was create a sound and a feel that was so reminiscent of Marvin Gaye's music that the Gaye estate was able to sue. You know what I mean? Was able to sue Pharrell and Robin Thicke and win that case.
Right.
If you can make something that's so that if you can humanly make something that's so based on something else that you can be sued for it, then I don't understand how me using your name, image, and likeness to recreate some AI that I wouldn't have created it if you didn't already exist.
Right. That's where I was about to go with it. When I was saying, because originally I was saying I agree because he didn't actually use any of his actual songs that are out and stuff that he's produced. But when we get even more technical, it's what you just said. He wouldn't have been able to. You can't simulate the voice if you're not using what already actually is in existence. That's what it's based off of. They're drawing their data from what already exists of these artists. That's how. So you have to hear some voice or some song or some lyrics from the song to get, the simulation of it.
That's right.
In the world.
That's right. So in essence, you
are copyright infringement too. To be honest.
You are using my name, image, and likeness to create something else.
Yeah.
And I also thought, well, maybe if he didn't put the word Eminem cat on it, would they have had any basis? Because that's the only thing that was Eminem based on it. They they didn't use, like I said, Eminem's name wasn't in the song. It wasn't any Eminem lyrics. It wasn't his music, but they were still able to have it snatched down. But I like it's very very similar to that Blurred Line situation to me,
Right. Oh
and it
man,
bleeds over into that. Yeah, it's so convoluted. I just don't know
it
how it's gonna
is.
turn out.
It is, and because I'm thinking about the guy that I mentioned, I forget his name, but the rapper from Brooklyn that sounds just like Jay, right? And then we remember
Sicario.
Sicario, and then we remember uh, Gorilla Black, who was
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
do his best rendition, sounding like Big. But what happened with
yeah.
both of them? One, the guy from Brooklyn that sounded like Jay hasn't blown. People don't know him. Most people listening to our
Right.
podcast don't know him. Gorilla Black never really got off the ground like
Never
that.
popped off.
But
Yeah, never popped off.
so I'm saying that to say, just among the musical community, naturally, if you come in sounding just like someone else or something like that, it don't make it no way. It don't fly, right? So
Yeah.
there wasn't even any no lawsuits about a person sounding like that, sounding like another person or anything. However, this is going to make someone sound extremely like the person. So I'm just thinking, our the laws that are going to be needed are only really to protect, I guess, artists and companies, but it's not needed for the actual music listeners because we just not going to fuck with it. Like we
Hey,
didn't
see,
mess
that's
with
the
the black.
difference.
Like people are not
See,
messing with.
okay, I think we're in a completely different era. I think with
That's
TikTok
true.
music and SoundCloud music and the way people find music and way music finds people nowadays, I do feel like
Yeah,
the
yeah. It don't matter. They
it
don't
could
care.
be, it don't matter. You could put it
Yeah,
out. You could put out these novelty items long enough until one of them's gonna catch.
yeah.
You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying? If
that's
you put this novelty, like after a while, we never listened. This is gonna sound crazy, but we never listened to Weird Al Yankovic. You see what I'm saying? For
right.
like listening pleasure, for listening pleasure, but we 100% stopped rejecting it like it wasn't viable in the art space.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like if he got one right, he got one right, and it went.
Mm-hmm.
This is very similar to that to me. I think a lot of them is going to be based on jokes, and just like the cat thing is a joke. Uh, but eventually, once somebody's going to continually try it, they're going and you put them in the marketplace long enough, eventually something's going to work.
Yeah. Plus, because
And
what is
I
leading?
don't and mm-hmm,
Yeah, yeah. Because what is leading to is one day you're gonna wake up and on your iPhone, it's gonna be some AI artist, and you know what I mean. And the name of his album is gonna be Blueprint 5.0, and it's gonna be a full album with concepts and everything, and sound just like Jay-Z, and it's gonna be fire. I'm gonna tell you now
as fuck. You damn right it's going to be
because
fire.
they got all of the data to draw from. They got all of the
Right,
songs already to draw
they got
from.
it all. They got it all. And the leading program that emulates voice, the leading AI program that emulates voice only needs 30 minutes of you talking.
Right, to get it right. So that's
That's
what I'm
all they
saying.
need. To create every word that they ever want you to say, they only need 30 minutes of you.
Exactly.
And they don't need you to say anything specific. They just need you.
Right. So
So
people got whole albums. You know what I mean?
whole albums, audio books. You know what I mean? Like anything.
Right. And so you're moving now then towards you're moving, think about 2 years from now, 3 years from now. Because think about how the Eminem rapping cat sound like Eminem. Even if it don't sound
Yeah.
100%, let's say it sounds 75% or even 60%.
Right.
So now you have to
Right.
multiply how fast technology is moving and how fast they're going to refine these AI
Yes.
software programs in a year or two. I mean, it's going to say you ain't going to be able to distinguish the difference.
You won't be able to distinguish the difference by the end of this year.
Yeah, I agree with
That's
that.
my prediction.
I was being nice.
I know you was being
Yeah,
nice, and I'm gonna be 100% real. Like, I ain't trying to scare y'all, but by the end of this year, you won't be able to tell the difference between the real Eminem and the fake Eminem, and the real Jay-Z and the fake Jay-Z. And the scary part of that is, if I want a prolific artist and I got this machine that can write and produce songs as fast as I tell it to, I'm definitely gonna have an album full of these. I
right.
could do an anthology in a weekend.
Right. And now I was going to say the only problem with this is you don't have an actual person to perform it live. But we
Okay,
already know what that is, right?
yeah, that's
There's the
virtual.
metaverse and all these, and the
That's right.
VI, virtual reality comes in.
Yeah,
So you're going to
yeah,
have virtual
yeah,
artists and virtual concerts from AI artists.
yeah. And I'm gonna throw something else in there that I think people might not be thinking about, but we're being primed for that, and by the artists of today. And the
Hmm.
artists of today don't know that they're doing it. They're just they just haven't been through proper artist development, so they're on stage doing things in a way. For instance, Lil Durk at Dreamville Fest this weekend, right?
Hmm.
What he did on that stage, he should have got paid an appearance fee, not a performance fee, because he basically went on stage and allowed his songs to play, and he picked up the mic and put it to his mouth maybe 5 times per song. He never said a full line, a full hook, not one time he was on stage.
Yeah, I
So
see.
basically, this is the man that recorded the songs, goes on stage in front of thousands of people, like tens of thousands of people, and basically let the song play with visuals behind him.
Mhm.
If audiences are accepting that, then why do I need him on stage? Basically, what all I need is a communal space where we can listen to this person's music with dope visuals. That person ain't really necessary because they're not adding anything to the. You see what I mean?
Yeah,
If we can
yeah,
groom the public to where the person is not necessary, then it doesn't need to be a person doing the music.
right. Then so then the concert, right? If it, let's say even if it's a live concert or person, then it just ends up being just like a group of friends sitting around listening to some of their favorite artists, and everyone just vibing.
Yep,
That's what it is. Like
in a
we had
public
great
setting.
times listening to some of our favorite albums with our friends, right? The artist wasn't actually there,
Mm-mm.
but
You're
the
right.
feeling was the same because we enjoyed the music that much, and you with your peoples. Like that's essentially, yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's the point. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know why they wouldn't do it that way, especially if you ain't really got a viable artist that to put in front of these people.
Right.
You push it and see what they'll accept. We seeing what they'll accept right now.
Hmm.
We seeing the level of the lack of performance that they'll accept and still call out a show.
True.
So I don't know what they'll accept from an AI show. Maybe you make so much money from the art, from the AI standpoint, because you didn't have to pay an actual artist, that you don't need the reap the benefits, the financial benefits of having a live show.
Hmm.
You spent far less money, you paid less people, so you don't have to make it. You don't have to make as much back to see a profit, right?
Hmm.
So uh, I
Yeah.
don't know. That was just interesting to me, bro. Like, I had to
Yeah.
send it to you. I had to send you the those
Yeah.
links. And the
Right.
other one, go ahead.
I was just saying it's wild because that's just a hot topic right now on where how artificial intelligence factor into you know the music creation and how's it going to affect the
Yeah,
artists, all of that. So I mean, we got to keep our eye out for it to see where what new laws are created to protect the artists and protect the rights of the artists and things like that, or the record companies. It's going to be a fight.
yeah. It's gonna be a real big fight. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
real big fight, and it's like I it's just making me it's sending my minds in so many different directions. You know what I mean? Like, for one, we feel like this is a reason that the labels are buying up all these catalogs. is because they know that real music is going to be affected in the future. We won't have as much of it, so real music will be more valuable. I feel like that's the truth.
Mhm.
Well, I was gonna say that they fighting against their own interests, but they not, because these aren't the people that's having things shut down. These are the record labels that are having the AI artists shut down.
Yeah.
Uh, are they having it shut down because I don't want you making money off my artist likeness, or are they having it shut down so that they can hoard the market self of AI music to themselves?
Shoot, it might be both.
It might be both. Might be both. It could very well be both. Could very well be both. Before I just wanted to make sure. I know we ain't. You know what I'm saying. What did you think about the voiceover part of this thing? Because I think that ties really close to artistry and how they were talking about
Man,
artists being jerked on the voiceover side.
that was that was wild. That was wild. So I'm trying to figure out, like, I mean, one lady did, the person did voiceover, and then she said she heard her voice everywhere and wasn't getting paid
Mm-hmm.
anything for it. She had like
Yeah.
nothing at all. She didn't. I guess she didn't know, or the deal that she signed. I guess her voiceover contract, it had it where they could take her voice anytime and repurpose it how they see
In
fit.
in, perpet,
in,
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 in
in
perpetuity.
perpetuity. Yeah, and
Yeah.
also for things that haven't even been in, basically things that haven't even been invented yet, new things, right?
Right.
That they can take and use the
Yep.
voice for like now, like I guess AI and stuff
Yep.
like that. So that I mean that
Yeah.
those are some.
But she's suing. One of the ladies is suing TikTok because she signed a deal to do voiceover for one thing, and
Mhm.
now because of what she signed,
They
uh,
repurpose.
they can use her voice any way they want to. So now they're using it as the TikTok AI. So when you go and use TikTok's voiceover thing, is you using this woman's voice,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
she don't get no bread from it. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So I thought that was interesting, because how does that tie to artists nowadays? Like when you go to sign your contract, what do you need to be looking for in there? This, because at this point, if you sign the wrong thing, they could drop. They could have you. They could talk to you for 30 minutes, drop you, and now they got albums of content on you
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean,
because they got your voice.
right, literally. I mean, this is dang, man. This is crazy when you think about it. This whole what we're discussing, this is literally how people entire souls are being taken from them. But essentially,
Yeah.
if you taking my
Yeah.
likeness, my image,
Yep.
voice,
Yep.
like it's
When
like
you talk
people are
about selling
losing
your
their whole
soul.
selves.
Yep.
Like
Mm-hmm.
it's wild. Like think about it in the bigger picture. Like, and you don't get, and they can have it set up where you don't get anything. You're not entitled to anything.
Nope.
So now we
Nope. It's
have
like
you over here digitally,
yep.
and we're making money off of it. But all of this voice, this image, this likeness, everything is totally detached from the true person, the real person.
Right.
That's
And it's a lot. It's absolutely crazy, because it's a lot harder for you to make money as the real person than it is as the digital person.
yeah,
In the art world, you see what I'm saying? The way
yeah,
the system is set up right now in the art world is, especially musical arts, it's a lot easier for them to make money off you digitally than it is for you to go make money off yourself physically.
right. And then
So
when
if
you
they have your digital, if they got your digital name, image, and likeness, and they working it over here, you can't even. You see what I'm saying? You can't compete.
nah, you can't. You can't, yeah, with a
Yeah.
machine. You can't compete with the machine because see, you gotta think
Nah, you
about
can't
it.
compete with the machine.
Say whoever, I'm Lil Durk. I'm
Right.
in a writing slump. All right, I'm not in the
Yeah.
creative space. I don't want to make any music right now. But the label wants some new Durk material.
That's right.
They can press a button
That's right.
and produce new songs, whole songs.
And make you say shit you had no intention of ever saying in your life.
Right.
That's the scary part. They can make you say whatever the fuck they want you to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, talk about your dead homies. I mean, they can have you say some wild shit, bro.
Mm-hmm.
They could get you canceled. And you ain't said a word of it.
Right.
You know? I mean, whew. I thought it was ironic. I thought it was ironic that when I was going through those articles on this, I was actually in the shower when I was, you know what I mean? So I decided to listen to them instead of reading them.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean? What voice was it that you was listening to?
Ooh,
when you hit play?
I don't know, some female.
It was artificial.
Yeah. Yeah.
That wasn't a real person. It was an artificial intelligence voice that you was listening to read you the art.
Yeah. Some random.
So it's like
generate a woman voice.
But the irony of what the article is about, and then when you go press play to listen to the article, then you listening to an AI voice. I'm like, what in the fuck, bro? You mean the person that wrote this article didn't have time to read it out loud,
right?
but they would have had to pay that person an extra fee to go read it so that they can disseminate it. You see what I mean? Right, but now they don't have to pay that person. They just take that person's word, that article you wrote. We paid you to write the article. You take that little bread. Now we're gonna take that, feed it to this machine, and let the machine speak for you.
Right. Right. See, what we get into is, I mean, we don't got to get into it here. You know what I mean? But eventually we're going to have the conversation about money versus humanity, or money over humanity, because that's what this is on.
Yeah, we need to have that one soon.
Yeah,
we need to have that one soon. I'm excited to see how. Yeah, I mean, because that's really what it's boiling down to.
Mm-hmm.
And quickly before we dip, man, on another note, I want to talk to you about. Have you seen the letter that a lot of the technology leaders have signed and saying that they're asking for a pause on artificial intelligence as a whole? They're asking for a moratorium on it. Like, let's pause it for a little while because this is about to be dangerous and we're about to ruin humanity. Elon Musk signed it. I'll send it to you. Yeah, Elon Musk signed it and everything.
I didn't know that. And to be honest, I'm super shocked that they signed it. I'm super shocked, especially Elon Musk. I'm shocked.
That's letting you know how far this shit's fitting to go and how bad it's about to get.
Right, and you did. We got to close, but you do know they signed it. It's because they know how crazy it can get, and I'll never forget my first. I said this before on our podcast. My first week in college, my mass communication class, the first thing the professor said was, whatever you have in the regular world, like whenever new technology come out, he said the military have already had it 10 to 15 years in advance. So when you're talking about this, you got to think about how can AI be weaponized, all this stuff be weaponized. See, all the technologies that come out, they're coming out after military has already been playing with it and utilizing it.
Yes. The internet was invented in the 1960s for governmental use, and they didn't release it to the public until the mid 90s.
Mid 90s, yep.
So that speaks to exactly what your professor said being true. And this is known facts that the military had the internet 30 years prior to allowing the public to use it.
Mm-hmm.
So what you think about AI? I mean, that's got to be the case. Man, we're going to continue this conversation. This won't be the last time we talk about this, man. Yeah. I had to pick your brain on how you felt about it, bro. You know what I mean? Sure. Yeah. But as usual, man, y'all go to all our socials. Go to Instagram, Facebook. Follow us at Conversate for a Few. Make sure to go to YouTube. Subscribe to Conversate for a Few. Hit that notification bell. We there every Friday at 7 a.m. We're probably going to be popping up more on y'all, man. We trying something new. And if this is something you want to hear further conversation on, hit us in the comments and say, yo, we want to hear more what y'all got to say about this. You know what I mean? Like what, because we got, this ain't all. We just ain't got time to talk about it all right now. You know what I mean? But we can take the time if it's something y'all want to hear about, right? Stay tuned for the limited edition merch. I got a plug on merch, bro.
Let's get it.
We'll have something printed. I'm gonna have something on the printer by beginning of next week.
Oh, good. I'm with
my
it.
Word. My word on that.
You hear that?
My word on that.
You hear that?
My word on that, Futane. Come on. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Yo, and with that being said, yo, I'm Jonna.
I'm Alan. This is not a podcast about classical music.
Absolutely was not. This is a podcast about hip hop. Make room for the tag.
Conversate for a few.
Hustle, welcome, man, they had to send me. Hustle from Raleigh, live from NC with your hosts, John and Alan. Relate to the two, you are now listening to Conversate for a few. Check it on SoundCloud, debate with your crew. They talking hip-hop from the late to the new. From July till June end, no Fridays for me, tune in. Please listen to this podcast. 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 Please listen to this podcast.